we're dealing with what we perceive as an international corporate bully, and that's Ford Motor Company. You know, you've now seen a glimpse of a video that's absolutely horrific. But what was equally shocking for us was Ford's attitude when they met with the victims, when they met with Renisha and the family. You know, we've heard that during these meetings, Ford would say, "We have deep pockets," you know, creating the impression that we could do what we want to. They have deep pockets and they will defend it. When I heard that, I was flabbergasted and thought, let me find out for myself if that happened. So I started engaging with Ford. And surely, at the first meeting I had with the MD of Ford, I confronted the person that said that, and he admitted it. But let me just, whilst I'm talking about the first meeting with the MD of Ford, when we say things, this fight is not against the dealers. We know very many good dealers. I have to tell you that I drive a Ford myself. So there are many good dealers. What we're against, and what I will tell you, is against how Ford dealt with the customers in this particular matter. So I was at this meeting with the MD that was arranged by one of the dealers, and during that meeting, the man was confronted. He admitted it, but said he would like to put it into context. Now, you all will agree with me, whenever you confront a bully and the bully is caught out, they try and rationalize their conduct. Firstly, they'll say, our conduct benefits society. Secondly, or they'll say, you know what, our conduct was in the best interest of the victim. It makes them stronger if you bully them. So that is what we perceived. I also confronted Ford's lawyers and asked them if this was said. Ford's lawyers admitted it and said, but we should place it into context. Now, surely, where I'm sitting, to put that deep pockets mention in context is really difficult if you're dealing with a company that should be customer and client focused. Now, because Ford's got deep pockets and well, the family doesn't, and neither do we decided to engage with Ford. We had our first meeting with Ford. I left that meeting feeling very positive. I had a meeting with the MD, the current MD. I thought that was a good meeting, that we will resolve and we will settle this issue. Only to a week later, 2 weeks later, get a letter from Ford saying, don't talk to us, talk to our lawyers. So we again sat down with Renisha and we said, let us do this. Let us talk to the lawyers. We went to another meeting with Ford and the lawyers. They appointed a senior advocate, and we had a meeting. During that meeting, when I left that meeting, I thought, that's it. We've resolved it. That the family will now be able to get closure. They can move on. Only to get a letter from the lawyers a couple of weeks later saying, no, we're not interested in talking to you, blaming us that we try and intimidate them and that they don't want to deal with us. Now, I have to tell you, before I carry on, that at that meeting with Ford, I said to Ford that we will have a press briefing. We don't have deep pockets, but we will let the court of public opinion decide if they did the right thing. So they know very well that we will have this media conference. They also know exactly what I will say today. So if you ask them questions, they know exactly what I will say. They might also talk about that meeting, and perhaps one should just remind them that perhaps there's a possibility that we recorded that meeting and that whatever they would like to say now could be measured against a recording of that meeting.